Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lori. Today I wanted to do a video on an experience I had during a client session with the Lyrans, the star system, the star beings, the Lyrans. Sometimes I call them the Lyrians, but they came into this session with this client and they showed us something pretty spectacular and something I wanted to share with all of you because it's a really great way for us to start to understand on a very sort of visual level what's going on inside of us. Like, what does this mean, a light body? What does it mean, light activations? What does it mean that we're expanding? What does this mean, you know, that this light's coming in? And I don't understand that. Explain that to me kind of feeling, right? Like, if there was somebody that can come in and like visually shift us into a higher frequency so we could visualize the energy and what's going on inside of us, we would be able to have a better understanding and a better, we would be able to conceptualize what's going on an energetic level right now, right? Especially right now. Huge shifts that we're moving through, huge portal that we're moving through. And so the way I'm sort of feeling everything right now is as if I'm in a washing machine and I'm in the spin cycle and I'm just like, everything's moving inside of me. All my limiting beliefs, all these thought patterns, all these programs are coming up for me to see. All these emotions are coming up, more intense, deeper and deeper, right? Just to come up to be released. It's just peeling it back, peeling back, peeling back. Right? Because the etheric body, our light body, is activating and expanding and expanding and expanding, right? And so the Lyrans showed us a beautiful way to begin to visualize, experience, and understand what's going on inside of us energetically and what's happening to our light body. So first, let me just explain the light body is the etheric body within us, right? And so there are multiple different subtle bodies within us. There's the physical, which kind of encompasses and holds the other three subtle bodies. There's the mental body. The mental body is the body within us that energetically holds our thoughts, our beliefs, the paradigms that we're in. That's all held within our mental energetic structure. There is the emotional subtle body, which is an energetic system within us that holds all of our emotions, right? It's where we process our emotions. It's where the energy of the emotions are. And that's the energetic, that's the emotional body. And then there's the etheric or light body. This is the body within us that holds our higher frequencies. It holds the higher self. It holds the I am presence. It holds our divinity. It holds the Christ consciousness. It holds unity consciousness. It holds all of these really potent higher frequencies. They're all sort of held within this light body, this etheric type of body. And so what's happening right now on the planet that the Lyrans were showing this client is that without our doing anything, that, you know, there's nothing that we're doing in order for this to happen. But what is happening is light's coming in, activations are coming in, higher frequencies are moving in. They're moving in through the energetic portal on the head, right? The seventh energy center, which is the crown. People call it the crown chakra. A lot of light beings call them energy centers because they actually are energy vortexes. So they are centers that are spinning at a certain frequency and holding a certain vibration. And there's 7 of them in the physical form, and there's 8 above the physical form, all vibrating in this vortex sort of field. And when they all start to spin and vibrate at the same frequency and the same speed, there is a pure sort of alignment that happens, a clarity. It's as if like everything is clicked in, right? But what happens for the humans is that these energy centers get blocked. There's a lot of emotional emotional sort of experiences traumas, pains that are held in these centers, right? And the Lyrians were showing that this is, they call this the meridian path, right? And so the more clear we can make this, the easier the light moves through, the easier it comes in, the easier it is for us to feel, the easier it is for us to hear, the easier it is for us to experience it. And so that's what a lot of us are doing, unbeknownst to ourselves, is these energy centers are clearing out as the light starts to move through. You can imagine it as like a freeway system. And so what the Lyrians were showing this woman and myself is, one, the first thing we need to understand in terms of what is a light body, what is an etheric body, how do we get there, how do we feel it, how do we experience it, is we have to come into our actual physical bodies, which most of us think that we're already in, but most of the time we're not. Most of the time, even right now, right, I'm just sitting here talking, having a conversation, I'm up here, right? I'm usually up in the head. Most humans are up in their heads. They're not actually in their physical bodies. And so we have to train ourselves to come into the physical body over and over and over again. One of the ways that these Lyrians were showing us is they asked us to close our eyes. And they asked us to bring our awareness to our eyes, to our physical eyes. Bring your awareness into your eyes, first and foremost. And so you turn your vision inward, right? And you begin to visualize what the eyes feel like inside the physical form. And then they invited us to look up and see this energy center above us, the seventh energy center. And so we moved our awareness up and we started to feel into that space. And it felt very fluid. It felt very liquid. It almost felt like we were swimming. They invited us to move into that sixth energy center, right? What people call the third eye. We moved down into the throat chakra, and we literally were using our internal vision, our internal awareness to move into these spots. And each time we moved into an energy center, an energy vortex, we were able to feel what that felt like. How blocked is it? How open is it? How much trauma is still held in there, right? We could actually swim into energetically these spots. Again, they invited us down into the fourth center, the heart. They invited us down into the third. So we were kind of swimming down this meridian system into the solar plexus. And then the second, which is the sacral, and then the first, which is the root, right? So they brought us all the way down. And so we were able to really visualize very naturally this meridian system, right? That runs along the spine and above the spine and goes up out of the head and goes all the way down through the root to the earth. And then what they invited us to do was they invited us to begin to see the spine and then begin to move out of the spine just a little bit and begin to see light. And so we did that. We started to see some light, right? I saw this light starting to form. And as we started to notice and tap into this light, it began to expand, right? And it became sort of an etheric sort of form. And they were telling us that this is our light body. And that it's kind of like it begins around that spinal column, but it expands out, right? And they were showing that you can actually expand your light body out as far as you would like it. And so we started expanding this light body out more and more. And it's just got this beautiful wave-like vibration to it. And what they were saying that's happening right now on the planet, and all of this is held within the physical body, right? So this beautiful light body is held within this dense physical form. This is kind of like a capsule. Like when you take a pill, there's a capsule around the actual pill ingredients inside. It's the same thing. It's like the physical body is encapsulating our light body. And so what's happening right now as the light's coming in more and more, and these are higher frequencies of light, vibrating at a higher frequency than what's in us right now, it's beginning to activate that light body inside of us. And when it starts to activate the light body inside of us, that light body begins to expand naturally. It just starts to kind of take over more and more of the inside energetics of the physical body. And when that happens, that is when the emotional body gets rattled. That's when the mental body gets rattled. And that's when the physical body gets rattled. So in times like right now we're moving through the second eclipse portal, right? And there's intense energies coming down onto the planet. and our physical body's feeling it, our mental body's feeling it, our emotional body is feeling it, and the etheric body is feeling it. What's happening is that these intense frequencies are coming in order to activate, align, and expand our light body. Because when you move into a higher dimensional frequency, you are more of a light body and less of a physical body. So when I interact and engage with the Lemurians that are fifth dimensional beings, they have a form, they have a physical casing, but they are much more of a light body and less of a physical body. What's happening to the human right now, the human evolution, is that our light body is expanding to become more, and the physical body is becoming less, if that makes sense. So it's like the light body is going to keep expanding and expanding and expanding. We're going to become less dense because we're going to become more of a light body. And so what's happening right now is the light body is beginning to get activated, charged up, expanding. When it does, it starts to move out and touch the etheric, the mental body and the emotional body and the physical bodies. And then those bodies that are in denser frequencies, that are holding denser energies, right? Our belief systems, old paradigms, old realities, limiting beliefs, programming, trauma, pain, emotions that stem from the past, physical ailments, stress, anxiety, all these things that most of us are feeling right now are coming up because they are being activated and kind of pushed out by the light body that is expanding. Okay? And so as this expansion happens, all these denser pockets just naturally cannot stay within the light body. The light body can't continue to expand with these denser pockets of energy, which is emotion, limiting beliefs, thoughts, programming, stress, anxiety, illness, all of that stuff, right? It can't continue to expand with all of these denser pockets of energy inside these other subtle bodies. And so that's what is happening right now. These other subtle bodies with these denser pockets of energy are being activated. Activated meaning they are being felt, popped open, experienced, and very naturally, without us doing anything other than feeling them, acknowledging them, seeing them, they're releasing. The light body is naturally expanding, and these other denser emotions and experiences and energies are releasing. And so what does it feel like as you begin to tap into that light body? The light body is where you experience everything. The light body is where you experience the universe. The light body is where you experience your higher self. The light body is where you experience heart-centered consciousness. The light body is where you experience unity and oneness. The light body is where you experience your I am presence. Your light body is where you experience Christ consciousness, right? Everyone's talking about these ideas and these concepts. Well, the light body is where your physical body experiences it. And so as it expands, there is more and more of an ability to feel more, to hear more, to receive more, to experience more. And so what happens is the seventh energy center is opening, right? That crown is opening up so that you can receive. And as the frequencies are moving in, unbeknownst to ourselves, just based on the natural progression of ascension and the light that is coming down and coming up from all of the solar activations that are happening and from the light workers on the planet, our light is expanding. We're starting to hear our higher selves more. We're starting to embody more of our higher self. The higher self lives within that light body, right? We're starting to connect to the I am presence. We're starting to connect to source. We're starting to connect with our guides more. We're starting to connect with our star families more. We're starting to hear spirits more. We're starting to hear energies. We're starting to feel energy more. Where do you think you're feeling that energy? From this light body, from this etheric body, right? That's where you're feeling. That's where the energy is vibrating out from that light body. And so the more and more you are allowing that light body to breathe and to kind of guide your reality, the more you will feel, the more you will experience other energies, the more you will feel your intuition, the more you will hear your higher self, the more you will tap into these new realities, new paradigms, new dimensions that are opening for us to step into. So it's all about understanding the light body, understanding the etheric body, and the role it plays right now and what's going on with this process that we're moving through. So as you find yourself frustrated, annoyed, disappointed, whatever it is that you may be going through about your own ascension process or your own waking up process, don't beat yourself up, because look at what's actually happening. I mean, the more intense these things are that are coming up, all that means is that your actual light body is expanding. It means that you are expanding. It means that your energy, the consciousness inside of you is expanding. And so you can do this exercise that the Lyrans showed us, which is basically closing your eyes, bringing your awareness in. So first, just sort of visualizing, closing your eyes and visualizing your eyes, like here's my eyes. And then use your awareness to look up and see this crown, the top of your head, an energy vortex, right? And you can tap into that. So you can visualize an actual center of energy, a circular center. Doesn't have to be circular, but imagine like a vortex of energy. A vortex is spinning energy. Bringing your awareness to the third eye, this sixth energy center, where all your sixth senses reside, right? Where they get activated. They don't reside there, but they're activated there. Moving down into this center, right? Feeling that throat, moving into the heart. And you're actually moving into the physical body, and you're imagining that you're swimming. I mean, for us, it felt like swimming, but you're imagining going into the physical form. And you're inside your body. Maybe you can actually see your cells. Maybe you can actually see the blood. Maybe you can see muscles. Maybe you can see organs. I don't know. But get in. Bring your awareness in. And as you go down, you interact with all 7 of those energy centers, and you visualize and see that it's a meridian system, right? It's a freeway of light. And then you bring your awareness out just a little bit from your spine and start to engage and feel this light. You'll start to feel this kind of flowing cloud-like light, which is your light body. And you can intend for this light body to begin to expand beyond your physical form or come back in, right? You can see how it goes all the way up, goes all the way down, and just allowing yourself to have your own experience of this light body. But this is how, I just want to make sure I get all my notes about what came through. This is how our physical body is able to express our divinity. This is how our physical body is able to express our higher selves. This is how our physical body is able to express our Christ consciousness. This is how our physical body is able to express everything that we're here to step into. This is how the physical body expresses it, through this light body. And eventually, in quite some time, but eventually we will be less form and more of the light body. That's what it means when we talk about the new earth. When people talk about the new earth, when people talk about shifting into the 5th dimension, it's actually, in a very physics and scientific way, it is literally the physical form shifting out of density and into more light, into the light body that's already inside us. The light body is already inside us. We're not going to grab it somewhere. It's not necessarily coming in. The light that's coming in is activating it, but we are encased with that light body. We came in as spirit, as light bodies, right? The light body is the spirit. It's our spirit. It holds everything. It holds all the knowledge. It holds your gifts. It holds your knowingness. It holds your purpose. It holds your contract. It holds, if you're from a star system, it holds the frequency of your star being family. It holds the spark of source. So we all are from source. Originally, we all have a spark within us of source. That's within that light body. The light body holds all this frequency. So imagine all of that inside of you right now, and it's expanding. And all of the third dimensional density that we have been holding on to, which is our emotions and our thought patterns, our belief systems, our programming, all the physical ailments, the cancer, the disease, the sickness, that's all third dimensional reality. That's a third dimensional matrix that is held inside, that is being released. It's being released. And again, I can't say this enough. There really honestly isn't anything for you to do other than consciously become aware of what's going on naturally inside of you. This is a natural process. Evolution is a natural process, right? It's the same thing as like, how is fruit created? How do things grow? How do herbs grow? How are animals made? How are children made, right? It's all natural. How do vegetables grow? It's evolution. It's a natural process. Birthing, it's a natural process. Ascension is a natural process. It's the same thing. We are actually just birthing ourselves into a different dimension. It's a birthing. And so all birthing is a very natural thing. There's nothing you have to push to make it happen. There's nothing that you have to do to make it happen. There's nothing you have to read about to make it happen. You can read to understand it. You can watch things to understand it. To have that awareness and understanding is beautiful. But in terms of doing something to make it happen, there's nothing you need to do to make this happen. There's nothing you need to do to make this light body go faster, right? You have your own natural process. Your ascension, it has its own natural progression. Your ego wants to control it. Your ego wants to tell you, you need to go faster. You need to have more of an expanded light body. You need to be more embodied with your higher self. You need to be able to be channeling the higher self and the star beings and whoever else, right? So that's the ego. But your own natural process is happening. You can't push it or force it by doing things. By taking certain courses that are going to be, it's going to accelerate this quicker. It's just, all that's doing is bringing awareness to what's going on. But your higher self is in charge, not your ego. We think our ego is in charge, but it's really the higher self. And so it's a lot of wasted energy if you do things that the ego wants you to do, because nothing's actually really happening at the end of the day. The higher self has got it all under control, and it's all beautiful. It's just that the ego wants it to be a certain way at a certain time through a certain process. So if you find yourself wanting to move this along, beautiful. That's part of the human journey. We all want to move this faster. We all want to go from A to Z as fast as possible and skip all the other points along the way. So just be conscious of that and just understand that you can't go from A to Z without going through B, C, D, E, all the steps. And those take patience and time. And it's natural. You're doing it no matter what. Your light body is expanding no matter what you do. Your light body is expanding no matter what. Your mental body and emotional bodies are releasing what no longer serves you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your physical body is releasing what doesn't serve it anymore no matter what you do. Now, we can always make it a little bit more healthy, by, making healthy choices. But in terms of the clearing out and the releasing of the dense energetic frequencies, it's just a natural process of ascension. So I think that was all I wanted to share about this beautiful experience we had with the Lyrans and understanding the light body a little bit more. I hope this was helpful. It was helpful for me. And you can try to practice that, kind of going in, closing your eyes, moving inside, going from the eyes and going all the way down, and just seeing if you can start to feel that light body. It doesn't matter if you can or can't right now. Eventually you will, no matter what. But start to remember, start to conceptualize what's actually happening right now, right? It's a huge evolution of a physical form into a light form. It's big. It's a big thing we're doing right now. Not easy. And so I know there's a lot of people that talk about it as if like, this is what it looks like, this is what it feels like, this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be feeling. And just take the pressure off, you know. It's just relax. It's naturally happening, no matter what. At least that's what I hear from all the beautiful star beings that are all around us, 24/7. The way they see it, there's nothing humans need to do, but just make it as easy and graceful and flow as possible moving through it. Always walking, always taking the next step. So there are certain, you know, I've had some comments about, well, there is no such thing as not being in control or not doing the work. And it's like, no, that's not, you're missing the point. The point is that it's meant to be easy and graceful and effortless, meaning there is nothing that you need to do, but you still need to live your life. You still need to make choices. You still need to walk, okay? It's just a matter of doing that from the aspect of your higher self more and more, less from your ego, right? So you're letting go of control from the ego and allowing the higher self to control your actions, right? Control what you do next. So you're letting go of the egoic control and allowing the higher self to start to move you. Always taking steps, always moving forward, always doing things. You know, you're not just sitting back saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to sit. That's not happening. That's ridiculous. You have to move. You have to make efforts into your life. You have to create. You have to design. You have to do. But in terms of controlling everything, you're not in control. Let the control go, meaning the ego controlling it all. Let the higher self come in. And when you start embodying the higher self more and more and more, when you start hearing the higher self more and more and more, you'll start to understand that this aspect of you understands things way more than you do, has your best interest at hand, and is going to move you. And how do you feel that higher self more and more? You recognize that it's inside that light body. You recognize that it's inside. You recognize that it's expanding. You recognize what's going on. You start to come into the body and you start to feel. So I could talk forever and ever and ever, so I'm just going to stop now. I think I touched on everything. So I hope this was helpful. I love you guys so much for being here and for subscribing to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't, and like this video if you liked it. Pass it on if there's anyone that you know that would benefit from hearing this information. I thank my beautiful client for letting me share this. She gave me permission, so I'm thanking her so much for letting me share this. And I will see you all next time. Be very gentle with yourselves. Love you.